He's for every one of us. Stand for every one of us. He'll save with a mighty hand every man, every woman, every child with a mighty flash. Ladies, gentlemen, and variations thereupon, this is Modern Escapism. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Oodles, and my heart will go on. Joining me today, staying alive, it's Candy.
Hello. Staying alive, but barely.
He's on a highway to hell, it's Biggie.
Yeah.
And I don't want the world to see him, because I don't think that they'd understand it's Gadget.
They wouldn't understand. Not at all. I'm incomprehensible at times.
And Stig, unfortunately, won't be joining us today because he's got the shits now. It's just going around. Everyone's got the shits.
Everyone's got the shits in Podland.
Proper, pure, dribbly bum, nasty. But in his place, we have a special 2-for-1 guest combo meal from the MonoRants podcast and your socials. Just the two of them. It's Mono and Ciara. Sorry. Yeah, I was laughing at this then. It's Mono and Ciara laughing at my own jokes.
Look, you didn't accuse us of incest and you didn't accuse us of paedophilia, so it's okay. Fucking punk. And
my name accuses a lot of people.
It's not often I laugh at my own script.
That was a good one. That was a good one, Noodles.
I've excelled myself. I'm getting better at this after how many years?
3.
3 years. How is everyone? How is our special guest? How are you guys?
All good.
Lovely.
Thank you for having us on.
For people that don't know who you are and those idiots, who are you?
We are MonoRants. We have 2 podcasts. One is MonoRants at the Movie, which is technically our side podcast, but it has about twice as many episodes. We talk about films you may have seen at house parties or films that we want to talk about if you don't go to parties that show movies. And then our other podcast is MonoRants The Boys, where we talk about Amazon's superhero TV show, The Boys. And very, very recently, we had the co-creator of the comics, Derek Robertson, on for an interview, which was fucking awesome.
Very nice.
Wow, it was amazing. Wow. It was so good. So good. I've also listened to your Alien vs. Requiem podcast recently. Alien vs. Predator. It's just... I don't know. It's not as bad as people think.
No, I have a rule on the podcast where when we're doing movies, there has to be a movie that I like and I recommend, and that one was tough to find a recommendation for.
It's just...
It was one of those ones where we went, this is way better in my mind than the actual film is.
It's just crazy.
I just remembered the good bit.
Every time I think of it, it's the hospital bit. Oh, God.
Yeah.
No, for me, it's the hunter and his little son at the start.
Oh, yeah.
When I saw that in the cinema, I was like, oh, the little kid's getting the chest burster, and we're seeing it, and that's awesome. This is going to be deadly. And
it's not.
It didn't really.
Also, Praelian.
Yeah, the Praelian.
Yes. The Praelian.
I mean, the one recommendation you can give for Aliens vs. Predator Requiem is that it's not Predators.
Oh, yeah.
No,
yes.
Yeah.
That was very close to our actual recommendation.
No,
Predators.
Predators is fine. It's the Predator
Prometheus,
that's terrible.
It wasn't.
It's all
we watched that recently as well.
That is god awful too.
Yeah.
In summary, I prefer AVP and AVP or over any of the other Predator and Alien films that have come after those.
Except for Prey.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Prey was excellent.
Prey, yeah. Prey's the black sheep by being good.
He didn't look like a bobblehead.
He didn't.
The Predator always looks like a bobblehead. They just make his head too big because they get a weedy guy and try and bulk him out instead of just getting a massive bloke and putting a helmet on him.
Yeah.
Which is what they did in Prey, and it worked. He didn't look like one of those like 90s fucking giant head bobbly head people that he used to collect.
I just wish he'd keep his mask on.
Trying to convince myself to watch them all again now. Oh no!
Don't convince yourself. Don't do it.
They're all on Disney Plus. Everything, all that 20th Century Fox stuff.
Yeah.
Oodles, what you need to do is just watch Predator 5 times and then watch Prey.
Yeah, I'll do that. Good plan. But that's our special guest. How are you guys? The other three. You guys cool?
I've got
I'm
some
fucking
breaking.
sweating.
Yeah, sweating
It's
balls. But
warm,
I got some breaking news in Candyland. So I don't know if you would remember. You probably do. I haven't had a bed for years. I've just been sleeping on a mattress on the floor, and which is fine with me. Apparently, other people have a problem with me sleeping on a mattress on the floor. Pip.
It's been a big contention for Pip's life.
She really is not happy with us. Anyway, I bought a bed this week. Not just any bed.
Yes.
Not just any bed.
Oodles, you're gonna
No,
fucking love this.
you are gonna absolutely flip your shit. I bought
Come
a
on.
gaming bed.
You bought a gaming bed?
I bought an X Rocket gaming bed. That's one step down from the Lamborghini, which I really did
You're
fucking
such
want as
a
well.
fucking mega virgin.
I'm living my best teenage boy life. I'm gonna just drop a
Mate.
picture of it in our chat. Here we go.
How are you going to get laid in that? Honestly.
Oh,
Apparently,
fantastically.
exactly.
You've sent me a
60
screenshot,
frame-
haven't you? You've sent me
60 frames a
Boys are
second.
really good with like quick response.
Exactly right.
They're trained with the thumbs. It's all good. Oh, that is.
Now
great.
tell me,
No, it's not. No, it's not.
if you went to a girl's house
Cheaper than
and
our
he was
fucking bed was.
That is cheaper than my bed as
My
well.
bed doesn't do anything like that.
exactly. See, if you went to a girl's house and I was like, "Come in, baby, have a look at my bed," you'd be like, "Oh,
Oh yeah, I'd be all over
I'm on
it.
to a winner here."
For the listener, because this is radio, the bed is called the X-Rocker Cerberus Gaming Bed.
Look it up, and you're all going to be jealous.
It's like just photoshopped onto a background.
I was going to say,
Yeah, it is, mate.
I very much
Terrible.
enjoyed, since Candy told me about this the other day, I've very much enjoyed the terrible Photoshop job on this webpage.
so weird.
Also,
And this is the content that we want.
It doesn't even match up to the wall.
Well, it's a floating gaming bed, obviously. I mean, that's what you're paying the money for.
Clearly.
Also,
might use that as a
the
spot
sign,
art.
the sign on the left-hand side of the bedroom that just says "game room" because that's what all gamers have in their rooms.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. I
Well
love that.
popular.
That's great content.
She's going to be
Nothing's going to
sleeping
top
with ray
that.
tracing.
Nothing's going to top that. Do you know what I do need though?
What do you
and
need?
I think everyone here needs it. I need some breaking news.
You may already know, but he doesn't, because it's time for Biggie's Breaking News.
I'm so sorry for this. I'm never gonna do the news again. Biggie's words have got no rhythm, though it's easy to pretend. I know you're not a fool. I should have known better than to say that name and waste the chance that I've been given. But I'm never gonna do the news again the way I news with you.
That was beautiful, mate. You've got the lighters up.
Speaking of which,
God, that was beautiful. Do you know what? I'm gonna light up a cig now because I felt like I've just had sex. It was stunning, mate.
sorry,
Beautiful.
we did watch the Wham documentary today. That's where that came from.
Good, innit?
Anyway, it was actually quite interesting seeing
I
the
liked it.
stuff behind the scenes.
Old wham bam,
anyway.
thank you, man.
You really want the news? Nobody is
Yes.
playing Halo Infinite on Steam, as player numbers have dropped to 2% of launch peak. Despite a relatively positive launch, Halo Infinite saw swift and sharp decline in interest, with players frustrated at the lack of meaningful updates and a lot of unwanted excuses from developer 343 Industries. The game has struggled on regardless, but fans of the game on Steam have all but given up on the game, as its player numbers have dropped 98% of what they were at launch.
That's mad.
Launch figures for the game saw a healthy peak of 272,586. But a popular Reddit post recently noticed it fallen to a paltry 5,732.
Fuck Halo.
This
man.
means
Dead.
more people are currently playing the likes of Dead or Alive Extreme, Venus Vacation, and an 11-year-old Borderlands 2.
They are. Yes, they are.
There you
That's
have
even
it.
worse. That's hilarious. I mean,
It was supposed to be a good Halo game, wasn't it?
it's great. The campaign is great.
That's not enough for an Halo game, mate.
The multiplayer was good. They just didn't fucking add anything to it. There was too much battle passy, microtransaction-y stuff going on with it, and not enough like rotations. And I don't think it was as solid as like the good old days of like Halo 2 and 3, where you know you had 16 maps and just constantly rotating playlists.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
just
and
wasn't
a great
controlled.
online service that just ping. you're in.
Yeah, So no, and also just the fact that they said it was going to have a roadmap and it was going to be all battle pass stuff and all that, and they just didn't fucking add anything to it or new maps or anything like that. So,
pour one out for Halo then.
Yeah,
Lest we forget.
Yeah.
Dead. I don't think Microsoft are happy with what 343 are doing. So we'll see what happens with that.
Next, forget it. Next, move on.
Bad boys, what are you going to do? Well, Yuji Naka has been found guilty of insider trading by the Tokyo District Court, as previously mentioned. He was sentenced to 2 years and 6 months of jail time plus a fine of 2 million yen. This is going to be a suspended sentence, apparently. But
he won't do prison.
Naughty boy.
He won't do prison. No. Thing is, he's probably the only criminal in Japan right now because there's not many criminals in Japan.
No.
They're all good boys and girls, aren't they, in Japan?
I mean, apart from the Yakuza.
Unless they're elderly.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless they're elderly, then they commit crimes just so they can get a roof over their head. Apparently, no, it's really.
I've seen it.
Not a joke.
I've seen it. Yeah,
apparently, it's a really big thing.
Yeah, the elderly are like the chavs of Japan. That's going around, hoods up, kicking bus stops in. It's terrible. But yeah, Yuji Naka, mate, I want to get him on this podcast. Can he speak English?
No.
Probably not. But we'll sort it out. We can translate. He's just the bad boy of Japan, and I love him. If you guys don't know him, he's a notorious game developer that creates good games in his early career and then just decided to be a twat for ages.
he's the guy who created Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah. Originally.
Oh, right.
And then his career has...
They just dropped off a cliff.
His last game that came out, which was Balan Wonderworld, or Wonderland, or something like that, was... I think it's like average 30% on Metacritic or something like that. It's terrible. Universally terrible.
From the man that made Sonic.
Did he do an extended John Romero?
I think
basically,
so,
yeah. That's exactly what he did. He's just if John Romero did insider trading and got caught.
Yeah. But
no, John.
His entire post-90s...
I have nothing to praise for.
His entire post-90s career has been based on from the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog. That has been everything that he's done.
Yeah. I love him. I want him on the show. Next.
Up and coming release Baldur's Gate 3 lets you have sex with a druid in bear form. Let that sink in for a moment.
The internet's gone too far.
I mean, I would say that it's not necessary, but that does have an audience, unfortunately, doesn't it?
No, you're not fucking a bear. You're fucking in bear form.
It's still a bear. It's still disgusting.
Yeah.
The very crucial thing to remember with this one is Baldur's Gate 3 is a Dungeons and Dragons game. They have accounted for the bullshit that Dungeons and Dragons players do.
I have seen the clip of the bear sex.
Hilarious, isn't it?
I can't, because they asked the audience to let them decide what to do in this situation, didn't they? And the audience was like, fuck the bear.
Of course they were.
When the bear walks up to him with come hither eyes and a grin.
It was the squirrel dropping his nuts for me that did it.
Yeah, squirrel dropped his nuts. Oh,
he's seen some shit.
Go and look up the clip, because out of context, none of this makes sense. But seriously, go and look up the clip. It's really
It's a gay romance as well, just to stoke that fire as well. It's a gay bear. Which
it was shown during a Panel from Hell live stream. It was too saucy for TikTok, which pulled the live stream offline an hour before it ended. The director of publishing, Michael Dow, said, "Have you ever considered the joys and pleasures of sexual congress with a world-shaped druid?" No. Added leader writer Adam Smith, because at Larian we have, and ultimately landed on the side of, listen to this, giving the people what they want. Tender, consensual romance with a man temporarily transformed into a grizzly bear.
I don't doubt there are some people that want that.
I reckon this game's going to sell millions.
It's the most important word in that sentence.
Oh, I'm just so happy for people that have always wanted this. These rotters.
I didn't know I wanted this.
You want it
now you do. Now you do.
Imagine someone going to go and buy Final Fantasy 16. Can you have sex with bears in that? No. But have you heard of Baldur's Gate 3? Oh, tell me more.
I'm in.
I can't believe you just spoiled Final Fantasy. You can't fuck bears, right? I'm not playing.
Virtually unplayable.
Literally unplayable.
So, next. After that, how do you follow that?
One of Oodles' faves, Street Fighter 6, tops 2 million copies sold, and they're celebrating with in-game rewards. The game is doing well.
I'm one of my faves as well. I'm loving it.
Yeah, Gadget bought it, mate. So, The best gift I've ever got. It's just such a good game. I play it every day. It's just so good, and I've got some of them gifts I've already dropped, and I've got a new hat. I've got some new gloves. It's so good.
I need log in. I haven't logged in all week. 7 of the chance.
Oh, it's good, mate.
It's great. It's amazing. I love it.
Just the best game, man. It's going to be my game of the year, that one. I'm telling you.
But on the flip side to that, Japanese Final Fantasy 16 sales have plummeted by 90% in its second week.
Oh, that's not
That because everybody has it already?
Probably.
I think it's
if you remember, during the pandemic, everyone bought Animal Crossing very fast, and then that plummeted drastically as well, because everyone's got it. So it could just be that. What is the sales figures on it, do we know? Have they revealed it?
They haven't said. They've just said what the drop-off is.
Could be 20 million, who knows?
Well, it was the best-selling PS5 game, isn't it? But it's one of the few PS5-only games that are out there, so it's kind of irrelevant, really.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's safe to say it's doing pretty well, so I don't think we need to worry too much.
Everyone on my friends list on the PS5 is playing it.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone. Apart from Gadget.
Not playing Yakuza.
Yuji Nakasim.
Need to get it finished.
Next.
Peter Molyneux, remember him? He teases a new project with ideas that have never been seen in a game before. I think we've heard that before. He's quoted as saying, in days gone by, I'll just start telling you about the whole game and the whole game design and why it was going to be the most brilliant game in the world, but I'm not going to do that. He did, however, say it will have a more familiar environment, which is more like a kind of Fable, black and white Dungeon Keeper kind of experience. He hasn't released a game since 2012.
Yeah, he hasn't released a good game since 2005.
He's lying. He's Peter Molyneux. He lies.
He's terrible.
Do not believe his lies.
The man has never kept a promise.
Can you remember? Let me remember the cube that he invented for the iOS.
Yeah,
and it was the game was everyone in the world is breaking down this cube by tapping it, and at the end there was a special reward. Can you remember that? What that reward was?
The reward was you were to be an executive producer as part of Lionhead's next game.
Yeah. Did that go to fruition?
Sorry, not Lionhead next game. 22 Kansas next game. The game was then dropped about a year later.
Yes,
because it couldn't be
reward.
Done.
This man apparently had spent 42 hours tapping a cube. He's a liar. He's a con artist. Yes. Not to be trusted.
He did some great work in the early 90s when he was part of Bullfrog and
when he was on cocaine. Yeah, he did his best work.
But then when he splintered off the line, I still fucking remember the promises he made for the original Fable, that it was going to be this almost like true open world experience, and that all of your activities
never ending.
All your activities would have meaningful effects on the world. The fucking didn't. If you were good, you got a halo. If you were bad, you got horns. That was it.
And it's a 12-hour game.
It's a 12-hour game. It was set with loading screens.
Yeah, fuck it. Move on. The more airtime we give him, the more his ears will be burning, and he'll be like, "Oh, I'm relevant again." Next.
Well, over to the world of film and TV. The Gran Turismo movie is inspired by Rocky and Top Gun. It's the story of a real-world superhero. It isn't adapting the story or characters. Two things that the games don't have. It's telling the based on true story of Jan Mardenborough, the British youngster whose serious skills playing Gran Turismo led him to becoming a professional racing driver in real life.
Yeah, but low tier. Am I spoiling the film for everyone? Sorry. It's not that famous, guys. It happened, it's true, but God, they're going to absolutely Americanize the fuck out of this, aren't they?
I bet.
There's going to be a montage, crashing.
Yeah, how are they going to do the montage with him, just different angles of him on a joypad?
Shifting gears.
Will it ever be better than Cool Runnings?
Exactly.
No.
Which is based on real life.
Mm-hmm. There's going to be lots of those Fast and Furious downshifting shots, but with a Logitech gear stick.
Yeah.
Watch it all be wrong, and it'd be an absolutely amazing film. I'm sure. This is the new Chariots of Fire.
It might well be. I'm still aghast at the concept.
And it's just called Gran Turismo. It's I think it's misleading me. It's not about the game. It's about someone playing the game.
Yeah.
It's a bit misleading.
Yeah, so is Tetris.
Tetris was good, though.
Exactly.
It was good, wasn't it? Yeah, that's true. Next.
The new Alien movie has wrapped and is now moving into post-production.
Let's
The
go.
highly anticipated space horror film has whipped fans into frenzy ever since it was first announced in 2022. The newest addition to the franchise is produced by Ridley Scott and directed by Don't Breathe's Fede Alvarez.
Don't Breathe.
And it's got a working title. I'm a bit worried about this. It's to the R in it. Alien Romulus.
There's not Requiem.
Romulus is one of the moons, isn't it?
Yeah.
This one. So I'm cautiously optimistic, but then again, can you remember Covenant, everyone, ladies and gentlemen? Alien Covenant.
What?
This one is supposed to be loosely based around Alien Isolation.
Oh.
That's what I've heard. Yeah, it's Ripley's
any
daughter,
set
isn't it?
Photos, any set photos have come out, and obviously everyone has torn them apart looking for things that have all gone, ooh, this looks like it's Alien Isolation.
What?
And proper, I like Fede Alvarez. He does really good horror, and I'd be really happy to take it back to like the first Alien film that scared the pants off everyone.
A horror film.
I don't know that I'm cautiously optimistic though.
Because of his grubby little fingers all over it.
What's the opposite of that?
Too many times.
Tepidly
pessimistic.
pessimistic.
Trepidatious.
Yeah, that's it. Love it.
Because of Ridley Scott and his grubby hands.
I just want it to be
Yeah,
good. It can't be that hard to make a film.
Ridley Scott to fuck off. Out away from
Maybe they just had Ridley Scott just sat there in a chair, give him a little glance and a thumbs up. Ridley, yeah. Because he's not young, is he?
He's just in a VR headset, like shouting at random stuff in a room.
Let's see.
That dictator who I can't remember what country he was from, but he got old and stupid, and they just put him in a room somewhere and gave him random papers to sign, and he thought he was still running the country.
Donald Trump.
Do that to no, an actual military dictator as opposed to a wannabe one. But no, do that to Ridley Scott. Just you're directing the next Alien film. Don't worry. Put him in a room with some fake actors.
Sit him down.
Some fake cameras.
Sit him down with a PlayStation pad, playing Alien Isolation. Look at you directing this. Look at you, Ridley. Look at you doing this.
Look at you.
You're good, mate. And then pat him on the back and then leave him.
Give him a
Put his
biscuit.
bib on.
Give him a bicky.
Give him a biscuit. Fucking God, he must be 9 million years old now.
Late 80s?
How old is
Early
he?
80s? He's in his 80s, I'm pretty sure.
Next.
Speaking of sequels, 28 Years Later is now the title of the threequel to 28 Days and Weeks. Alex Garland has finished the script, Danny Boyle wants to direct, and Cillian Murphy is down to return.
Didn't he die on the last one?
Killian. Sorry.
Thank you,
Cillian.
I've told him about Cillian Murphy before.
You should get used to this.
He can't pronounce names.
That's okay.
Sorry, Ciara.
His Irish accent.
I love 28 Days Later. 28 Weeks Later is fine.
I just found it was just forgettable.
The opening bit of 28 Weeks Later with Robert Carlyle is fantastic.
Yes.
And the helicopter mowing across everybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
So good.
Yes.
And that's,
that film was really
Itty Bitty
intense.
Baby Hawkeye.
Oh, Jeremy Renner, isn't it?
It's Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner flying the helicopter, lawn
It is.
mowing everybody in the classic zombie defense pose.
And I want to say Idris Elba.
Yep. I think he's in it.
I think for me, what suffered with 28 Weeks Later, over 28 days, is that 28 Days Later was this tiny little film, and they managed to squeeze every drop of tension out of
It cost fuck all as well, didn't it?
out of like 6 sets at a £2 million budget or something like that.
Yeah.
Whereas 28,
and bribing a whole load of party goers to like just fuck off.
yeah, like 28 weeks
with
later,
women, with women or something, wasn't it?
20
They had
weeks.
like women like stood there like, ooh, look at me, don't go
Yeah,
down
they
the
just got like
street.
a whole load of bottle girls, and
Yeah.
then
Boyle's
if the
daughter
bottle
went out
girls
as well.
wouldn't do it, they were like, "Here's a £5, just go that way."
Fucking Nepo babies.
28 Weeks Later had a budget, and they kind of upped the kind of action ante with it and like special effects stuff. Whereas what worked for 28 Days Later was it was a tiny
Grainy
film.
footage.
It was grainy footage. It was like all done on handheld cameras. It was tense as fuck. There were only maybe like 3 proper horror sequences in the whole thing, but it was building the tension all the way through.
And it's got like 4 or 5 endings, so take your pick.
And it's only got 4 or
So
5
good.
actors in it as well. Like,
Yeah.
and it works for it. And I think 28 years later, what can they do with it? They fucking scale it up to a global level, you know? And it's
Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But
They're already writing the next one as well, 28 decades later.
give up. Shut up. That was a terrible joke. Yellow card.
Moving on.
Next. Yes.
Jennifer Garner will return as Elektra in Deadpool 3. And also, Ben Affleck
What do you mean?
has been reportedly spotted on the set of Deadpool 3 as well. Although it's unknown whether he's in the film or not. Previous rumours have indicated that he'd be reprising his role as Daredevil.
Why?
That confused me, because when you said return to Deadpool, I'm like, she wasn't in the last two, but then those fucking Elektra film and Daredevil films, I remember them.
Terrible.
Oh, they had good soundtracks.
Colin Farrell was good as Bullet, though.
Bullseye.
Was it Bullseye?
Was
Yeah.
he?
Bullseye,
Was he
yeah.
though?
I don't think he
The
was.
best thing is the only thing I remember about the fucking film.
Didn't he kill a man with a toothpick?
Yeah.
Yes, on an aeroplane.
I think that was the first film I saw him in where he kept his natural Irish accent as well. Very confused.
I bet he was playing on that as well. I bet he was playing that up.
Oh, he was incredibly Irish in that
Oh,
film.
he's played up. He's played up the castle now.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. But yeah, let's see. I mean, Ryan Reynolds is he does what Ryan Reynolds wants nowadays, doesn't he? He's unstoppable.
Yep.
So he's buying football teams, he's buying everything else. I think he's buying like an American football team next or something like, or a baseball team or a basketball or something. He just can't be stopped. Can't be stopped. He can buy this podcast if he wants. Fucking hell. Next.
Netflix announces... Netflix? I don't know why I said Netflix.
Netflix.
Oh, in German.
Netflix.
See you later.
Netflix or
Kick
Hairflick,
my
yeah.
Netflix. Hairflick.
I'm never going to say Netflix ever again now. Netflix announces Sylvester Stallone documentary, hot on the heels of the Arnie one. It will take a reflective Stallone looking back on his life, regrets and all. Slow promises to offer much the same as the Arnold one. As the official logline puts it, this retrospective documentary offers an intimate look at the Oscar-nominated actor, writer, director, producer, paralleling his inspirational underdog story with the inedible characters he's brought to life. He clearly wrote that.
Did you just say inedible characters?
I heard inedible
Indelible.
too.
Indelible.
Did I say inedible?
You did.
In fairness,
probably
it's
both.
factual
Probably both.
because,
Probably
as far as I know, he didn't eat any of his characters. Technically, it's correct.
Where's the lie?
So, Mono, Ciara, you've seen Anchorman, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's him.
Reads whatever's on the teleprompter.
Whatever's on the teleprompter.
And the best part is he misreads what's on the teleprompter as well.
Yeah. It was my
I
bad.
have one question. Will Stallone's mom be in it? Because she's
Oh, I
amazing.
love her.
She's still
Jackie.
alive.
Jackie
She
Stallone.
is still alive.
She's still alive.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Of course she's still alive.
Wow.
Hey,
She
I'm
reads
Jackie.
people's
I'm
bones.
Jackie Stallone.
No.
She's so good.
She's like got a phrenology degree and but she reads people's bums instead of their
Yeah.
heads. Yeah, no, I am not lying.
A
He got a
degree in it.
phrenology degree.
Who has a
Listen,
I have
my ass has a
She's
story
got
to
City
tell.
and Guilds in it.
Many craters to
That'd be a
explore.
really weird model to have on your shelves, though. You know, where people have like a phrenology hat.
Phrenology ass.
The regions
Do you
of the bum.
think? Do you think we could possibly get Jackie Stallone on the podcast? We've had
No.
good people on before,
She was on Big Brother.
including you guys.
Well,
I think definitely.
Well, if we can get Derek Robertson, you can get.
yeah.
I think it might be a little bit difficult considering she died on September 21st, 2020 at the age of 98.
We can still try.
I know.
Oh, right.
I know a
Give it a
very
go.
good necromancer.
Seance.
I've got a Ouija
You down
board.
for it?
Ouija board.
Fun for all ages.
So, do we
It does. It says 8 and up on the board.
do we know any mediums that work via the medium of the ass? And then we'll definitely get in contact with her.
I'm sure BBC have a few.
And that specialise in really, really strong Italian American women.
I think you're speaking my
That would-
language.
There we go. I'm picking up something already. Next.
Hold on to your horses. Zack Snyder has endless movie and TV plans for Rebel Moon.
Fuck's sake.
He told Empire he knows exactly where Rebel Moon will go. With plans to
doesn't.
extend
In
far
the bin.
beyond these two movies. When I pitched it to Netflix, the scale was the thing they wanted, says Snyder. They were like, well, how big could it be? How many movies? They made me go, okay, if you really do this, we can sink our teeth pretty deep into this. We can't really hit the bottom, he said.
Isn't this a Star Wars movie that he made, or what's essentially a Star Wars film?
Yes, it's
I
his
don't
own.
really
It's
pay
his.
attention to Zack Snyder
It's his
that
new.
often.
It's his new. What he's calling his magnum opus, space opera.
Another one.
Another one. So it's going to have Leonard Cohen singing Hallelujah at the beginning, like all his films. It's going to have really intense
loud.
slow. Too loud.
It's going to have a fantastic opening sequence that tells you everything you need to
Yep.
know, and then it's just all going to be garbage and wank.
Yep.
Yep.
Loads of
He
slow mo.
can't edit himself.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's going to get review bombed, but the opposite way. Review praised
Yeah.
by his fans. It's going to be 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. User.
It's going to
I did
Not
like
critic.
it.
going to be presented in a portrait aspect ratio, so you can watch it on TikTok. There'll be a special black and white edition and a sound only edition.
Oh. We're not getting him on the podcast.
Just about to say.
No, we're not. Stig would never allow it, would he?
Stig would lose his fucking shit.
He hates him. He hates him and he hates his fans.
I mean, to be fair, the fans are worse than Zack Snyder.
Of course they are. He's probably a lovely bloke. He probably is. Probably so nice.
Just doesn't understand
Next.
Superman.
Over to the weird world web. You ready for this? CCTV
No.
footage from the Winners Wash laundromat in Quincy, Illinois, left owners and authorities baffled. The clip shows a thief in a full bunny suit going through drawers and placing items in a rucksack. The local police department has launched an appeal to the public to help identify the furry felon. And then it goes on to say, onesies have also been used by thieves, and also in the UK. In 2018, Mark Winslow stole an Asda delivery van while wearing a balaclava and a black one-piece embellished with glow-in-the-dark stars in November. However, when he fled and sped off, leading police on a chase, his onesie was so bright it was spotted by a police helicopter.
That's brilliant.
That's distraction techniques, isn't it? That's what that is. That's
Mental,
exactly what that is. What were we firing at? I don't quite know what we're firing at. I don't know what it is.
But no, it's
that's
the ultimate distraction
shocking.
technique. Because while the police are chasing this guy who's lit up like the fucking sun, the real crime is happening at that Asda.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Someone's
I
going
love
through
it.
and stealing all the socks from George or something like that.
Exactly. Excellent. That has been the news. Oh, what a journey we've been through. It's time for the main topic. What we're doing this week, we are discussing, this is a great one, shit films with bad soundtracks or
No.
songs. Yes?
No, shit films with good soundtracks.
Yeah, sorry. Shit films with good soundtracks.
Fucking dick.
I'm not even drinking. See, there's a cat there, and Candy's trying to grab the cat through the screen.
Cat does not sound happy.
That's a big
Growling
cat.
is his love language.
Growling is his love language. Is it Panda's brother?
I know, right?
Bit of context, it's a Maine Coon, so they do tend to growl quite a bit.
That's a big old cat. That's like a Wookiee.
It's also why he's a big bastard.
What's his name?
he's Bubastus.
Oh my god, I'm in love. Oh look. Oh,
He's fucking furious.
I love a fucking angry cat.
He is, he's just growly.
You put up with the physical
He is
abuse
just
from your
really-
cat.
I know, I've got to take him to the vet tomorrow. I'm dreading it.
Oh, God.
We actually saw Candy
Alright,
get
off you go.
punched by her cat live on our screen.
Side of her head.
Yeah,
In her eye.
In her eye, yeah.
that's not even the
It was
worst
great.
of it, but he loves me deep down.
Sure he does.
Mhm. Let's move on to the topic. So, let's just discuss some shit films with some good soundtracks. I'm going to start with my first one. And it's one that some people like this film. I don't, but I adore the artist and the soundtrack. Who's seen Purple Rain?
Oh yeah.
Regretfully so, yes.
It's not a good film.
It's a
Starring
fucking terrible
Prince.
film. It's one of those films that is an egotistical wank from start to finish.
100%. 100%.
Because if it wanted to be a real story of how like Prince overcame so much in his life, he wouldn't star in it.
No. Oh, on a
But are
motorbike
you
as well.
going to tell Prince no?
There wouldn't be so many shots of him looking pensive and topless.
Yeah, and massive heels that he's wearing because he's small. But the album Purple Rain, come on,
Oh, it's superb.
that's a fucking album.
Mm-hmm.
Not his best, but wow, what an album. It's got the title track itself, Purple Rain, which is probably his most played song on Spotify. I'm assuming it probably is. I haven't
be,
checked.
hasn't
But it's got to be. That is his piece, isn't
This
it?
is Magnum Anus.
Wow.
So let's have a look. See if Purple Rain's up there on the Spotify.
It's got to be. It's got to be number one.
So
Maybe When Doves
is-
Cry.
No, it is his number. Weirdly, it's marked as number 2, but the numbers are much higher. So number 1 on the Spotify list is Kiss with 350 million listens.
Wow.
But Purple Rain is marked as number 2 with 405 million listens.
There you go. Spotify again. What a great app. But yeah, Purple Rain was the first like sex pop album I ever bought, because at that moment in time I was like really listening to like heavy metal, death metal and stuff. And Prince, I've already mentioned this on the podcast before, he introduced me to stop being a fucking music snob and like anything you want. And I put that fucking album on. My God. Oh, wait for it. He taught me things before I'd even made love to a woman. You know what I mean? And look at me now, successful marriage.
You show me on the doll where Prince touched you.
He can't reach, he's too small.
Prince is the doll.
Yeah.
He doesn't go down on people, he goes up on them. Fucking honestly, he's tiny. He's tiny, mate. But it's a great album, fantastic, and I think it still holds up, especially the remaster version of it. It holds up tremendously if you're into that kind of pop, sex pop. I don't even know what the genre is, really. It's just sexy, man.
Prince.
Yeah, it's just Prince,
Yeah,
isn't
just
it?
Prince.
Prince is just sexy. He's just there. And he's like, ooh, and yeah, okay.
Yeah, what's the genre? Sex.
Sex. Yeah.
Purple
And also
sex.
some absolute incredible guitar licks throughout. People forget he's an incredible guitarist.
Oh, yeah.
Insane. But yeah, that's my first one.
Was the Lincoln Kennedy or the Kennedy Center Honors
Oh.
My Guitar Gently Weeps when he just comes out and destroys everybody?
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. This is so good. So good. Yeah, who wants to go next? Who's going to bring something to the table? Don't fight all at once, guys. Fuck's sake.
I'll
jump
in.
in.
No, yeah, you go, Mono.
I brought many, but I'll start with the Underworld soundtrack, because I know a lot of people don't like Underworld. But even if you don't like that, the soundtrack's fucking class.
Bring Me the Disco King.
Yeah, that being probably the crowning jewel of that soundtrack. David Bowie, Maynard James Keenan, and Millie Jovovich, and somebody else on backing vocals, John Frusciante on guitar. A better version than the album version of Bring Me the Disco King. It's just, that's fucking deadly.
It's so good.
Danny Lohner produced the whole thing. That's where Pussifier started. The second track on the album was Pussifier. Who else plays on it? Wes Borland plays on it.
Yeah, he does.
The lead singer of Filter plays on the same track. It's got Dillinger Escape Plan, Finch.
It's not got no Static X, has it?
No, that's one of my other picks, don't worry.
We can't have a podcast without Wayne Static turning up. We just can't.
No, he's not on that. Who else is on it? Yeah, Skinny Puppy. It's just fucking excellent. It's such a damn
especially
good
of its time as well. I mean, peek behind the curtain. I really like the first Underworld, but it is critically a bad film.
I love
the first one.
Pretty much. Well, I haven't seen all of them, but I love the first three at least.
Favorite.
She does the best superhero landing on cinema. In cinema.
They actually did it with wire work.
Oh, yeah, she did it, didn't she? Yeah.
I mean,
They did the landing with wire work, so that's why
she does that little heel flick as well as she
Yeah.
walks. Oh my God!
I mean, to be fair,
Fucking sale.
so much baby powder.
Yes.
So much baby powder.
Yeah.
She actually ended up, she had to go to hospital after filming that because she was sweating so much in the suit because it's latex.
Yeah.
Which just pools inside you that she dehydrated really badly. And basically had to go and get rehydrated. Kind of like your one in The Shining, only, not from
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
However, the downside to those films was the amount of people who adopted the style of the Underworld films who did not have the bodies for the outfits.
Yes.
why are you coming for me like that?
I'm not coming for you specifically, Candy, but there were a subset of people who should not have been wearing skin-tight latex around Newcastle when I was
Looked a bit like
teenager.
space hoppers.
I mean, also you can
Little bit.
also blame The Matrix for that as well. The Matrix had a part.
The shiny latex was very much the Matrix. The stuff where you had to go in with Windex and like buff buff.
You see, for the Matrix, I see it as more the big leather dusters.
The cybergoths.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the new rock boots.
Oh God.
I'm being
I
attacked.
used to have New Rock boots. I'm not short. I'm not short anyway, but I still had New Rock boots. I were like 6'7" when I wore them.
Do you know what? I used to wear the really high ones, the ones with like 3-inch platforms the whole way, which was fine because I'm 5'3", so it made me about 5'6", and I wore them like for about 3-4 years non-stop.
People didn't realise how tall you weren't.
Exactly. It was a surprise to everyone. But I will say they didn't wear out. But I recently got some. I got some about 3 years ago, and they weren't quite so high. They were just the plain black ones. And I tried them on. I tried to walk around them. I was like, they are so fucking heavy. Like, no wonder I was skinny in my 20s.
Yeah.
I can't carry myself
Never
around
fall
on
over
them.
drunk though.
Yeah. I went through a
Never
grunge
fell
phase
over
and I had
drunk wearing
German
them
power
because
boots.
you couldn't. If you had the ones that like came up to knee high, you physically couldn't fall forward in them.
Yeah, well, it's
No,
because
you
They were
couldn't.
so
It was
heavy,
kind of-
you just kind of slouched
weighted
over
down.
the bar.
You were like a
until somebody came
weevil.
and rescued
You just
you.
kept-
I was just about to
you
say.
also could not stop. It was kind of like a juggernaut effect. Once you started
if
going,
you went going, you had to like keep
Get
going.
out the way.
It wasn't fun.
But yes, that's a great pull. Great
No,
pull.
I was going to say Demononica. Demononica, is that how you say that shoe brand?
Oh, yeah.
Because they're a lot lighter, so
Yeah, I remember
they're
them.
actually way more comfortable.
Oh, come on, let's bring back goths. Come on. Take this fucking tie-dye top off. Come on, let's go.
gonna dye my hair black again.
Find my robe. Get my robe. Gadget, you go next. Go on.
Okay, so I'm going for a 2 for here because I think both these films came out in the same year,
Okay.
or within a year of each other, but just mostly because they have common artists. Not so yeah, within a year of each other, but they both have common artists on there, and it was obviously the trend in the mid to late 90s was these big soundtrack albums for the big tentpole summer releases. You know.
Yep.
The problem is at the back end of the 90s, a lot of the tentpole summer releases were shit. So there's 2 here. The first one is from 1997, Spawn,
Oh, that's on my list too.
Now we're talking. Now we're
one of
fucking
mine.
talking.
and the second one,
That's the one I was trying to think of yesterday. Sorry.
and the second one from 1998 is Lost in Space.
Now we're
Oh,
talking.
that was banging.
That was a really
Yeah.
creep feet film.
And it's
Oh, he had spiders.
yeah,
Spiders, yeah.
I didn't like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I think that's where my fear of spiders came from. That, but
It was Gary Oldman
Yeah.
Yeah.
in a role of a
Spiders in
lifetime.
his hair.
they share 2 artists that I just thought were absolutely banging. On both albums is Apollo 440,
Yeah.
those Swedish
Yeah.
noisemakers, and
Yeah.
the Crystal Method, if anybody remembers that.
Oh, now we're talking.
But
Oh,
you know,
this is a blast.
both Spawn and Lost in Space were terrible films and terrible adaptations of their source material because Spawn comics are incredible.
My
And
favourite
Lost-
comic.
Yeah, and Lost in Space, the original TV series, was fantastic early sci-fi.
Yeah, it was for its time.
Yeah, for its, I mean, it doesn't kind of hold up these days, but it is iconic for a reason. Danger,
Got a little
Robert.
spawn behind me, if you can see him. No, he's in a silhouette.
He's in
That's
silhouette.
him.
I can't tell with chuffing wee room that you've got, your little 14-year-old boy's bedroom that you're in.
Listen, I identify how I would like.
I'm not disputing that. Let's not start a war.
The reason why I'm lumping them together as well is because most of the Lost in Space soundtrack is orchestral stuff from the film itself. There's only a handful of licensed tracks, but the Spawn one, there's some fucking artists here. So we've got Can't Trip You Like I Do, which was the main theme, which was Crystal Method and Filter together.
So good.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, as well, all these original tracks were collaborations between people you would never think.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Then you had Long Hard Road Out of Hell, which was Marilyn Manson and the Sneaker
but didn't
Pimps.
they do Bones?
Yeah.
The theme tune for Bones. Crystal Method.
Yes, they did.
Satan, which was Orbital and Kirk Hammett from Metallica.
Yes, I
Nice.
remember that.
Satan,
Oh,
Satan,
God.
Satan.
I can't wait to write all these down for Spotify. Can't wait.
Speaking of Orbital, have any of you guys got Event Horizon on DVD?
Yes.
Maybe
The
somewhere.
special edition with the interview
Watch
with
the
Orbital.
interview with Orbital. They are mashed up their face on ecstasy.
Oh,
It's fucking
yes.
hilarious.
I've got it. I've
And
actually
it's
got
just
it.
in a club, like, before they're sat, and they're just in a booth, sat there, and one's just dead staring in.
And just chewing his jaw off himself and just agreeing with the other one. Just, yeah.
Yeah.
And then goes dead silent and stares off into the corner again for a couple of minutes. Watch it.
So-
Sorry.
I'm just going to rattle through these because, again, these artist collaborations are fucking mental. So you had Kick the PA, which was Korn and the Dust Brothers.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Tiny Rubber Band, which was Butthole Surfers and Moby, of all people.
I can't remember that, but I'm going to listen to it.
For Whom the Bell Tolls / The Irony of It All, Metallica and DJ Spooky.
Yep. Yeah. I've got that mix already.
Yeah. Torn Apart, which I forgot about this band, and I hate the band, but I love the name. Stabbing Westward and Josh Wink.
Oh, I love Stabbing
Why
Westward.
Stabbing Westward does it for me, just that name is great.
It's Tim Westwood, isn't it?
No.
Big dog.
Skin Up, Pin Up, which is Manson, if you remember them, and 808 State.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I feel like I'm 10-year-old again.
Yeah. One Man Army.
Oh, well, I'm lying. 15.
Yeah.
Come on, I'm just trying to...
One Man Army, The
very
Prodigy
younger.
and Tom Morello.
Yes. Fantastic.
Spawn by Silverchair and Vitro.
That was the actual title track, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think it was.
T4 Strain, Henry Rollins and Goldie. Which
Can't remember that.
I can't remember that one. Familiar, Incubus and DJ Greyboy. I was going to say Greyjoy there. This is not fucking Westeros.
Okay.
No Remorse, I Want to Die, which was Slayer and Atari Teenage Riot. Two bands that should not combine together. Fucking Slayer and a German punk band.
Wow.
A Plane Scraped Its Belly on a Sooty Yellow Moon by Soul Coughing and Roni Size. And then the last one, which was the link, This Is Not a Dream, Morphine and Apollo 440. So I was like,
Is that the greatest album ever made?
it might be one of them.
Potentially.
It's like 67 minutes of like
Wait till you get to mine.
90s amazingness.
Wasn't that Apollo 441, the Lost in Space one? Wasn't that the same summer as the Jamiroquai song?
Godzilla.
The Godzilla one. And the
Yes.
Puff Daddy, Jimmy Page.
But yes.
Yeah, which was actually going to be my next one on the next come around. So I tell you what.
Oh, shit,
No,
sorry.
it's fine. We'll just jump straight to that because I can do a couple of minutes on that. Yeah, Godzilla from 1998. Terrible film.
Yeah.
Utterly reprehensible film.
As always, guys, remember, Matthew Broderick killed someone. I've always got to mention
Yeah.
it every time he turns up.
Yes, he did.
He's a murderer.
He's not welcome.
Yes, and Hank Azaria perpetuates racist
Yes.
stereotypes on The Simpsons, or used to
Yes.
at the very least.
Yes.
But the soundtrack is fucking weird because there's a mix of original songs and
good.
covers. Like for starters, you've got the Wallflowers covering David Bowie's Heroes.
It's not very good, that
Okay.
cover.
No, it isn't.
It's not very good at all.
But then we get to Come With Me, which was Puff Daddy before he was P Diddy, featuring Jimmy Page, which is just like a 6-minute version of Kashmir with
it's
Puff,
so good.
with Puff Daddy going over the top of it and like rapping away.
No, that's genuinely a good song, man. It's good.
Deeper Underground by Jamiroquai, which is their only number one in the UK.
I like
It's
that.
not the best song either.
No Shelter by Rage Against the Machine. Air by the Ben Folds 5. I love a bit of Ben Folds.
Yeah.
Macy's Day Parade by Michael Penn. A320 by the Foo Fighters.
Yep.
The Godzilla remix of Brain Stew by Green Day.
I do remember that as well. Fuck.
Yeah.
Good.
Who else was that? I think that was it. Oh, Silverchair was on there with Untitled. So, yeah.
I'm never a Silverchair guy.
Walk the Sky by Fuel. So, yeah. Banger of a soundtrack. Terrible film. Really, really bad film.
Really bad film.
Can't overstate how bad Godzilla was. As a fan of the early Godzilla films and the Godzilla cartoon from the 90s, which was...
Do you remember
so much better.
Jean Reno doing his Elvis impression in that film?
Yes.
Remember that?
No.
Yes.
Oh, he does.
Yes, I do, because that Godzilla. I'm sorry, that Godzilla is quite adorably cute.
He is, isn't he? He's
That
chunky
spawned
boy.
Off it.
Yeah.
He is his little fat nose, and then the cartoon that spawned off it with the little like baby
Godzuki.
one.
Yeah, Godzilla and
No, that was
Godzuki.
from the earlier one.
Oh my god, there's a
That was the
Squishmallow.
70s cartoon.
No, it was a remake
there's
of the 70s
Squishmallows
one.
line of the original
Oh.
Godzillas.
Yeah.
Oh.
Remember I showed you that the other day?
It's
There's
fucked up.
Squishmallow, and I was like, please get me Mothra.
Yeah,
I need a
Mothra.
Squishmallow Mothra.
Yeah. It's... What a weird time, Godzilla. Just everyone listening, just watch Shin Godzilla and do yourself a favour and
It's a
ignore all the
very good
others.
film. Very good film.
Ignore all the others, please.
Also, listen to
Wow.
Blue Oyster Cult Godzilla. That's a banger.
Oh, go, Godzilla. Candy, go.
So for my first go around, I'm going to stay on the same theme, which is I'm calling this the style over substance theme. So I've got Spawn, said that earlier. You know what it's going to be. Queen of the Damned.
Hey.
so
2000s metal. Oh my god. So we got
Come
what have
on.
we got here?
Static X, baby.
Static X Cold, Penetrate Godhead, Earshot Headstrong, Dead Cell by Papa Roach.
Yeah.
First fucking Papa Roach album. Oh, Chef's Kiss. Forsaken by Mad Davey Draymond, Redeemer, Marilyn Manson, Jay Gordon. Slept so long, I don't remember that. Down with the Sickness, Disturbed.
Yeah.
System by Chester Bennington, Excess by Tricky, Deftones, Changing the House of Flies.
Album.
Not Meant for Me, Wayne Static. Oh, what an album. Don't need to watch
a
the
lot
film.
of Hairspray as well.
I mean, I would really recommend not watching the film. It's a terrible,
Just read the
terrible
book.
film.
Just
Oh,
read the book.
God, no, read the books.
Read the book.
Yeah, read the books.
Trust me.
Okay,
While listening to
I have
Static
a question
X.
though. Has
No, don't
anybody
even listen to it.
has anybody listened to that album in preparation for today?
I've listened
we
to
did.
a
We
few
listened
different
to it
bits.
earlier.
I feel like
I listened to
it
Cold
weekly.
We're So Cold because I listen to that all the fucking time because I think it's a banger.
Candy Machine was created in the early 2000s, so that's my daily soundtrack.
That's your era.
That's my era.
So you guys listen to it. Have you got any highlights?
Mostly the stuff that wasn't written for it.
I was going to say the stuff not for the film. Oh, God. The fiddle
Deftones,
scene is
obviously.
playing the fiddle and stuff, and that film is
At least-
fucking atrocious.
At least Stuart Townsend doesn't sing in it.
Yeah.
Something.
Do they
at
even have
least,
any
'cause-
Aaliyah on that soundtrack? Because
I
like
don't
she
think
was a
so.
fucking
Yeah.
very good artist.
No. Because you think as well, because they kind of did the whole thing of having them do the big credits song, you know, like you did the 90s hip hop, like they did with Anastasia, they did it with a whole load of them. You'd think they'd have had Aaliyah do that.
Because she was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's an amazing singer, and she's probably the best thing about the whole film.
Easily.
For this,
She literally looks like
Claudia
a
Black
goddess.
is in it, and nobody even notices. Oh my God, she's stunning. She's so
She's
fucking beautiful.
absolutely incredible looking. Stuart Townsend does an all right Lestat, but come on.
He's a known
bit dull.
Hollywood arsehole as well, though, isn't he? Stuart Townsend,
Yes.
apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone that's played Lestat is a bit of a twat.
He was known here as a bit of a dick before he even kind of made it overseas, and we were all like, "Oh, look at you with your notions."
Yeah. Okay.
Coming back here with your tall, gorgeous girlfriend. And
I just feel like
everybody hated him.
I feel like if I watched Queen of the Damned now as a 30-something, I think I'd still like it. I don't know what it is. I think I'd be resisting it for me to say it's a bad film. I'm resisting it because I loved it so much as a kid.
Oh, I would have loved to have gone to that concert as well. The one in the desert. Jonathan Davis selling me dodgy tickets.
When everyone nearly dies?
Yeah, I'd be for it. So worth it.
What a great concert.
Yeah, there's a couple you'd love to go to. That one, the Blood Rave in Blade. Yeah,
Yes.
I kind of want to go to that. It may die, but the Triple X, the Rammstein gig at the start of it.
Yes.
Maybe
Minus
not now,
Xander
but
Cage.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend Rammstein.
Definitely not now.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
That's if you make it out of the gig.
I would,
Christ.
Shit, I forgot to look up the soundtrack for Triple X. I'm sure that would probably fit here tonight as well.
That is literally mainly Rammstein, isn't it? I think it's
Yeah.
like 90% Rammstein. And none of it, apart from Fire Throy, was for that film, I think.
I think it's near enough just the Mutter album.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But yeah, well done, Candy, bringing Queen of the Damned. I'm going to have to fucking find that.
Should we have a
I've
watch
got it on
along?
DVD somewhere. I've got it on DVD somewhere in one of the trunks I've got.
Hang on, see, it seems just brought up. Yeah, I've just looked up the Triple X soundtrack. Firefly by Rammstein, Bodies by Drowning Pool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I Will Be Heard by Hatebreed.
I want me heard. Yes.
Terrible.
You Think I Ain't Worth a Dollar by Queens of the Stone Age.
That is a good tune.
It is a good tune. Before I Die by Mushroom Head. Remember Mushroom Head,
Yes,
man?
I do. The singer is a fucking bellend.
I saw them and Drowning Pool the same day at Ozfest before your man had the heart attack.
Yes.
Ah, did you? What a memory.
And then I had to get stitches in my head because I got hit in the head with the Drowning Pool CD.
Ah,
Yeah.
Irony.
Because they were giving them out free to the crowd, so the crowd turned them into
because they can't sell them.
Yeah, that's an average soundtrack, that one, but yeah, it starts off well and drops off because by the end you've got like fucking Gavin Rossdale and Orbital again. So.
Don't diss Orbital, but they do some weird collaborations. They really do.
They do.
It's all the drugs.
Cool. Big E, what you got?
Sticking to my hip hop roots, but with a twist.
Uh-oh.
Does everyone recall Judgment Night? A pretty
Was actually listening to it earlier.
forgettable 1993 action crime thriller by Stephen Hopkins. It starred Emilio Estevez, Cuba Gooding Jr., Jeremy Piven, and Stephen Dorff.
And Dennis Leary.
Dennis Leary.
Yeah. Oh, yes, and Dennis Leary. Thank you. But the soundtrack Whew. Here we go. You ready for this?
Go for it. Go for it.
Helmet and House of Pain, just another victim. Teenage Fan Club and De La Soul with Falling. Me, Myself and My Microphone. Living Colour, Run DMC.
Yes.
Judgment Night, Biohazard and Onyx. Disorder, Slayer and Ice-T. Another Body Murdered, with Faith No More and Booyah Tribe. I Love You, Mary Jane, Sonic Youth and Cypress Hill.
That's good.
Freak Mama with Mudhoney and Simics a lot. Missing Link with Dinosaur Jr. and Del the Funky Homo Sapien. Come and Die, Therapy and Fatal, and Real Thing with Pearl Jam and Cypress Hill.
Nice.
What a banger of a soundtrack.
That is one that you'll stick on at like a little barbecue. Well, not a big barbecue, a little one where you just got your close friends in. Stick that on, and away you go. I've got a good follow up to that, but I ain't got the track listing. But can you remember Cradle to the Grave?
Yes.
Do you know what his title?
Yeah.
You know what his title track was?
What?
X gon' give it to you.
Let's go.
yeah.
I remember getting the tape. The tape, guys, listener, there used to be tapes. You used to stick it in your Walkman or your hi-fi, and it was X gon' give it to you on both sides. That's it. You think when you buy a soundtrack on tape, it's going to be at least 3 or 4 songs. No, just X gon' give it to you. And I still love that. I still love that song. It's fantastic. And I think he was in it as well. I think he was in that film as well. But yeah. I'll move on to my next proper one. A film that's going to split people. I think it's a wholly terrible film, and people just got roast into a glass for it. Forrest Gump's a terrible film.
I don't like Forrest Gump.
It's a bad film.
I can take it or leave it.
It's got a fantastic soundtrack. Absolutely. Every single song in it is a hit from the 60s all the way up until the early 90s. Like, you tell me a hit from those decades, that song's in it. It's insane how they've got that, because apparently I've been doing some deep diving. Do you know what the biggest cost of this film was?
Probably the
music
soundtrack
rights.
licensing.
The music rights. Because if you remember, I've only ever seen Forrest Gump once, but I know it's quite long. And every single moment there's a fucking absolute classic banger. None of this like new metal stuff that we all love. Just proper like stuff that's just like, do you know what I mean? Like they go to Vietnam. What do you think they play in Vietnam? You know what I mean?
Fortunate Son, of course.
Exactly. It's just it's textbook as fuck. The whole film's textbook as fuck.
Oh
People
yeah,
love it.
It's absolutely nailed on for like the emotional response.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was I just googled it. I didn't realize it was a fucking 2-disc soundtrack as well. No wonder they spent so much fucking money on it.
It was the most expensive soundtrack of all time, still to this day, which is mental. It's unreal. But yeah, that's one of I know people be like, I love Forrest Gump. I think it's great. It's not. Read the book again. The book is way better than the film. And he goes to space in the book, guys. He goes to fucking space.
I didn't even know it was based on a book.
No, I mean.
Oh yeah. It's crazy. It's like Huckleberry Finn, but a little bit less racist.
Oh, a little bit less racist.
Little bit less. Just a little bit. But yeah. And the last one I've got 2 more actually. One for Gadget and Biggie. Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, mainly for the title track. Fast and Furious! It's so fucking good. Have you heard that song? Ding, 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 ding.
Yes.
That's really fucking
hate
good.
those films. I couldn't even bring myself to look up their soundtracks for those films. I hate them that much.
I fucking love it. I don't know who fucking sings it. I couldn't find it. I don't know what it's called.
It's Japanese artists, isn't it?
Japanase.
I refuse to talk about those films.
Just for for allowed to suggest things just for one track.
Yes.
Can I put forward Mortal Kombat?
Yes. The actual. Do you know what's funny about that song? People think that's the game's soundtrack, but it's never been used in the games ever. It's literally just the film's soundtrack, and it's been linked to it.
Well,
that's such a good.
I was actually going to bring up Mortal Kombat in my next section as well. So, because the soundtrack is actually a banger. There's a lot of really good shit on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got like Gravity Kills are on there, KMFDM,
No way.
Psychosonic, Orbital, Gezra, GZR, Fear Factory are on there, Typo Negative, Napalm Death.
I've just thought of something, because Resident Evil was also one that I kind of looked at, and they're all Paul W.S. Anderson films.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does have a good soundtrack, actually.
Resident Evil's Slipknot in it, yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, fuck. God, we are definitely a genre-based podcast. Apart from Biggie, who's into hip-hop, we definitely all wore New Rocks.
I just thought of
it's
one as
disgusting.
well. Do you remember Galarian's Rion? It was based on a game called Galarians, but it was an anime.
Yes.
It was shite. But the
Galarians
fucking-
with the guy with the collar on and the
That's
blonde
right,
hair.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't find the soundtrack online, and I've wanted to for ages, but I've got it on CD somewhere, and it was all
It's
kind of
probably been
remixes of. It was all it's remixes of metal songs, and there was a remix of Fear Factory's Archetype.
Oh,
Oh
right.
my god, it was so good! But every single song. If I'm going to try and find it, it's going to be my life's mission to find that soundtrack now, because it's just absolutely bang. Film bollocks.
Oh, yeah, terrible. Game bollocks.
Cat butthole.
My last one is Xanadu, basically because it's ELO. It's all ELO, and I love ELO.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a little bit of what's her name from Greece in it.
Olivia Newton-John.
Olivia
Newton-John.
Obviously, the
Xanadu,
the actual title track, but it's the whole film is basically ELO, and I alluded to it in the script at the beginning. Flash Gordon, it's Queen.
Yeah, Flash Gordon's not a good film.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Flash Gordon's a good film, so I don't think it counts. That's why I didn't bring it up. I think it's
And by that note as well, Highlander.
Yes, exactly. But Highlander's also a good film. I would argue it is, so it doesn't count. But that's all mine. Keep going. We've got another 10 minutes left to discuss it.
Twilight.
Oh yeah.
Go on, tell me.
Terrible film.
You don't know the
Actually,
story to
soundtrack.
this. I've only
I
ever
hate
seen.
Twilight. I have a weird
I've seen the last
love-hate
film,
relationship
that's
with
it.
Twilight. Oh, you're lucky.
Imagine going to the cinema to see that though,
Somehow
I did.
Oh,
and not knowing the rest of the story.
you were missing
Oh,
much.
here's it. So, Supermassive Black Hole by Muse.
Good song.
Decode by Paramore.
Great song.
Full Moon by the Black Ghosts.
Mm.
Leave out all the rest. Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Spotlight by Mute Matt. Go all the way by Perry Farrell.
Mm.
Terrible for My Beloved by Collective Soul. Paramore again with I Caught Myself. Eyes on Fire by Blue Foundation. Never Think by Robert Pattinson. And then
He sings.
Flightless Bird, American Mouth, Iron and Wine.
That's a good little album, that, isn't it? Terrible film.
Yeah.
The
Absolutely
soundtracks get
shockingly
progressively
bad.
worse as they go on.
Yeah.
Good there.
Yeah. Well, by
But the
my
movies,
taste anyway.
they kind of degrade to the level you would expect. them
I
to
do
be at
remember
with the film,
seeing
like,
the fucking I don't know if it's the official music video, but the Muse song where the vampires are playing baseball or something.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah, that
real?
was-
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
playing
yeah, that was
baseball. That's
Neutron-
part of the movie.
Neutron
Yes.
Star Collision.
No matter how bad you think this movie is, it is actually worse.
Maybe we need to do a Splinter podcast.
I have a really weird love-hate relationship with it because I love to hate it.
Yeah.
But I don't think I hate it as much as the cast actually hate being in it. Because
Yeah.
if you're ever going to watch it with the cast commentary, because Robert Pattinson hated every moment of being in
course
it.
he
on
did.
it. Like, I think he's...
I mean, Robert Pattinson's a sensational actor nowadays. You know what I mean? He's fucking incredible.
And they played the script that was given to them, which was nothing,
Exactly.
dead behind the eyes. Because I think I read the book because I was like, why is everybody so obsessed with this?
Is
And
it
was
shite?
like, oh, they're vapid characters. Yeah. They're just complete, like, fucking self-insertion characters. So they played it exactly as
I bet Candy's read them all.
Oh, I have. I have.
Yeah, I've read them all. I've read all the 50 Shades of Grey as well, because how can you give out about
I was
it?
going to say the real crime is that 50 Shades
that
of Grey
linked?
exists.
That
50
is
Shades-
fan fiction from Twilight.
Fuck off.
It is? No, yeah, E.L. James wrote it as
It was
fan
written
fiction.
on a BlackBerry in her
So
spare
is 50
time.
Shades of Grey a vampire film then?
No, so what you done?
It'd
And
be
there
better
was
if it was.
There was a really good set
I love
of
how you
videos.
know this gadget. That means you've...
Fucking listen. There are a really good set of videos by Dan Olsen of Folding Ideas.
Oh, yeah.
Where he did it's basically called a lukewarm defense of 50 Shades of Grey, and he goes into this.
Yeah.
He goes into how
did
the
it for
books were
us.
created. E.L. James did this fan fiction. It was posted like week by week, and people were absolutely loving it. And then a publisher came along and said, "Hey, we'll turn this into a proper book." And she's such a nightmare to work with. There was not a single bit of editing allowed on it. So what you get is these 50 Shades of Grey books is that because it's written by week by week and basically just copied straight off the internet, it is full of plot lines that get created and dropped, bad dialogue,
I've read
incomprehensible
bits
bullshit
out of it where why no elevator travels at terminal velocity? You would kill everybody inside. But the elevator in his $1 billion building travels at terminal velocity. Also, she has an inner monologue who wears marabou feathers a lot and apparently is perpetually drunk.
Does she describe penis as well, though?
She doesn't actually call it a penis. She dances around the subject like you.
Nope.
It's generally described as being throbbing or postulating, or pulsating, which is never an image you want.
Yeah, I've never seen a penis pulsate, and I've had one all my life.
And I was like, wow.
I imagine Superman does.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
Well,
Yeah.
Why?
But,
Powerful.
yeah, they're god awful.
The concept
They're
for
actually worse.
the concept for the fan fiction is it's Edward as a billionaire. And Bella working for him. So it's basically she's taken
I don't know
away
who these people are, mate.
the main characters from Twilight. She's taken away all
right.
of the fantastical vampire-iness from it and just
Turn it to sex.
yeah.
And she wasn't the first one to do that because there was one published prior to that called Beautiful Bastard where they kept the same character names and then it got a re-edit or a re-edition where they changed just enough of it that they wouldn't get the shit suit out of them.
This conversation right now has just inspired me for a podcast feature. Fantastic. I'm happy about that. We've all got some homework to do, some fan fiction homework.
Shall I drag us back onto the subject?
Oh,
then?
be careful on the fan fiction sites. You will see things that you will never be able to forget.
That's what we want.
iReach is very much required. Small cat, something you can go like a quiet room set up. Like,
That's what we
so that
want.
you can like unsee the things. Because some of them just get really weird.
Let's rein it back in. Let's get some more music.
Okay, so
Less penises.
I've got two more options for you. Both again absolutely terrible films, but with huge budgets. These ones they were both considered just dreadful. First one, Blade Trinity.
Oh, such a shame because I love Blade 1 and 2. Absolutely love Blade 1 and 2.
I kind of like Trinity.
But Blade Trinity.
No, you don't like Trinity at all. You
kinda
like
do.
Nobody likes
Shut
Trinity.
up.
Ryan,
No, you like Jessica Biel.
Ryan Reynolds
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
Yeah.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Daryl, fucking from Walking Dead. What's his name?
Exactly.
Norman Reedus.
Scud. He's called
That's the
Scud in
second
that.
one.
That's the
No.
second one. That's the second one.
Oh, is it?
Second one,
When he's got the thing
is
under
that
his
the one where
mouth.
you fight Dracula?
I'm a vampire.
Is that the one with the dog with the mouth thing?
That's
Yeah.
the third one. Yeah. Triple H is in it.
With the Yes, Triple H and his tiny Pomeranian.
What's on the soundtrack though?
Probably Triple
I
H.
don't know.
Well, no. So
I'm proposing.
the soundtrack. This will be one Biggie's into because it's mostly hip hop and quite a lot of the Wu-Tang Clan are in this at some point or other.
Ooh.
So you've got Reza on there, Lil Flip, Ghostface Killer, Raekwon, WCE40, Christ Bearer, All Dirty
I do
Bastard
like hearing a
again.
Geordie accent say these.
What's
really
Face
cool.
Killer?
Ghostface Killer.
Ghostface Killer, man.
Ramin Djawadi does a lot of the soundtrack on there as well. The Undertakers, Overseer, Crystal Method, and Orbital are in there a fucking again.
This is the Orbital show.
Are they on every soundtrack?
I think they are.
They know which side the bread is buttered, mate. I'm telling you, they know how to make money. I bet Orbital are
Did
billionaires.
they just wander into recording sessions like Old Dirty Bastard?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They also had a sound for the like mid to late, for like that 10-year period between 1995 and 2005. Orbital had a sound.
all these studio
Oh,
executives, get me Orbital now on the phone.
I have one that's not got Orbital or any new metal or any hip hop,
Ooh.
but is also a shitty film. Yeah, Tron Legacy.
Yes.
Daft Punk.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we're
Yeah.
talking.
A lot of those, I think a lot of those ideas,
Shite film.
a lot of those ideas went into Random Access Memory as well, which I still think is one of the greatest
Yes.
electronic albums ever made.
So good. Oh my god, when they redo the Tron theme tune, fucking hell, it's insane. I like watching that film just for the music, and then I realised I could just listen to the tracks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't have to waste my time.
The music in it goes well with some of the visuals, as in like the non-talky bits, you know, like when they're looking out over the city,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But yeah,
It's got Olivia Wilde in it as well, and I like her a lot.
yeah, but she's utterly wasted in it.
Yeah, she's wasted.
Is she?
She's the one with
Did you
the
see
little
her
black-
in that?
Is she wasted? She's
Was she drunk?
incredible.
Yeah.
Oh,
also the
she's a robot.
uncanny valley on Jeff Bridges' face, and that is unreal.
Yeah.
Like,
I
just
think
fucking
Jeff
animate
Bridges
him.
is still an handsome man of age. Just leave him of age.
Jesus,
you know what I mean? Just do it that way. But obviously it couldn't because it's obviously in the computer world.
Yeah.
Whatever the Tron computer world's called.
No, the Tron Legacy soundtrack's great.
The Grid.
That's it, the grid.
My last one that I've got here, which I think, again, this is might be my most expensive one that I've found. Batman Forever.
Oh.
It's got U2 on it, hasn't it?
It does. Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me by U2.
Yeah.
And the number one single that came from it and the signature sound for him, Kiss from a Rose by Seal.
Yes. I used
is
to
a
fucking love
banger.
that soundtrack.
What a song.
I fucking hate U2, but I'll
that
listen
song
to
is
that
good.
soundtrack. First, Kiss from a Rose. Oh, Kiss from a Rose is so good. And a karaoke classic in every karaoke bar on the planet.
Other artists on this one, so PJ Harvey's in here.
Yeah.
Massive Attack and Tracy Thorn covering The Hunter Gets Captured by the Game.
Oh, yeah.
Eddie Reader, Mazzy Star, The Offspring cover a Damned song called Smash It Up.
Yeah, they do.
Nick Cave is on there. Miserable git that he is. Method Man has a track on there called The Riddler.
Nice.
Yes.
Michael Hutchins covering The Passenger, which is actually a really good version of that song. The Devlins, Sony Real Estate, and I didn't even know they were going at this time, The Flaming Lips.
Then?
Yeah, 1995.
Huh.
When you said PJ Harvey, for some reason I thought you were going to say PJ and Duncan.
Yeah, Let's Get Ready to Rumble was on that soundtrack. Absolute banger.
Batman Forever's a bad film.
It's a terrible film.
It's not the worst Batman
great.
film. But
When I used to smoke weed, it was very good for that.
Actually,
very good.
Out of curiosity, what is the Batman and Robin soundtrack like?
Probably just nothing. It's probably just, oh god, that film's even worse. That film's way worse than Forever.
Is that the one with the back credit card and bat nipples?
Yeah.
Well, the bat nipples were in Forever as well, but they were mentioned. They were.
The George Clooney had the nipple suit, but Batman and Robin is kind of his love letter to the 60s campy.
The way I remember it is...
didn't really go over that well.
No. The way I remember it is Batman and Robin is the second film with Robin in it.
Yes.
That's how I remember.
It is the second one.
Yes. So Batman and Robin soundtrack is actually not too bad, not as good as the last one. Smashing Pumpkins on there, Bone Thugs and Harmony. Oh, okay, maybe R. Kelly does the song Gotham City.
Oh, I remember
he
that.
He does the song Gotham City. I remember that. Oh my god.
Revolution by R.E.M. Jewel, she's on there because she was everywhere in that time.
Jewel, yeah.
Goo Goo Dolls with a second song. Apparently, they have more than just Iris.
Really?
I don't believe
I didn't know that. I thought they just did concerts singing Iris 10 times.
Moloko, Eric Benet, Elliot Goldenthal, Underworld. Oh, that's the first time I've had Underworld.
Yeah, because they usually do tracks to good films. That's why.
It's ironic that Underworld are not on Underworld.
Ironically.
No,
so
Train Spotting, though.
Yeah, I mean, we'll take R. Kelly out of the mix, but I think the soundtrack album is better than the film. But it's not to the standard. Not to the standard of the Batman Forever one.
If you drop that U2 song, even though it's probably their best song, it'd be a way.
Still U2 though.
I fucking hate U2 so much. Remember when they put their album on his phones?
Oh yeah, that was annoying as fuck.
Yeah.
It still comes up because I've still got an iPhone, so I'll go into Apple Music and it's still in there.
Imagine the hatred you have for U2. But being Irish, so everybody thinks that you should like them.
Yeah.
We all hate them.
When you have to explain to them, we have other exports, guys. Lots of other exports, not just fucking U2. Bono's not fucking Irish anymore, anyway.
Represent us.
Is he still there?
Album is still fucking there. I can't get it out of my library. There's no way.
I remember waking up and it's saying, you now have the U2. I'm like, I'm furious. I'm furious that this is on my iTunes.
9 years this album has been on everybody's iPhones. 9 years.
Fucking horrible. Horrible. Have we got any more? Let's wrap it up.
I've got a few.
You go, Candy.
So I've got another section which leads me onto my main. And I'm going to call it musicals that are actually a bit shite. First one Encanto, film shite, but absolute bangers on it. I think Stig would agree.
Encanto's good.
No, the songs are good. The film's not.
The song's good. The story's kind of questionable.
Yeah.
Critically, though, it's good. It doesn't count.
Because of the songs. Second film, it's based on a musical, Phantom of the Opera. Absolute bangers.
The Gerard
shite
Butler
film.
movie?
The Gerard Butler one.
The Gerard Butler one.
Yeah.
And that leads me on to my
Sing
final
to
one.
me.
Yeah. Has anyone heard of a little film called Repo the Genetic Opera?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's what you might describe as a candy classic. So
No.
I fucking love
Like
this
Terror
film.
on Bloodfart Lake type.
Yeah, I fucking love this
Yeah.
film. Not critically well received. It's very, very mediocre at best. It's based on a musical, came out in 2008, and it stars Alex Vega, Paul Sorvino, Anthony Stewart Head, Sarah Brightman, who Phantom of the Opera was written for,
Yes.
Paris Hilton, Bill Moseley, and Ogre from Skinny Puppy.
Yep. Yep.
Not a great film. I personally love it, but it's absolutely banger after. It's basically it's like a rock opera.
It's like a homage like to Rocky Horror and stuff, but nowhere near
Exactly
as
that.
fucking good.
Yeah, but the songs though, the songs are way
Songs are
better.
good.
The songs
Yeah,
are
the
better
songs
than
are
Rocky
good.
Horror.
And Anthony Stewart Head can sing really
Oh,
well.
he certainly
Have you
tries.
seen him? Have you seen his Frankenfurter though?
Yes.
Oh, I have
Very
not.
good. Very
Yes,
good.
I do enjoy his Frankenfurter. And what else? Anything where he gets to be, even that episode of Buffy where he was like, "Ooh,
When he's singing,
I'm
yeah.
back in the old days," and
Yeah.
he's got the cigarettes rolled up, and he just does it really well.
He's great. I love him.
So that's
Um,
my main one was Repo. I fucking love the film. I know it's shite. I know it is. I know it's shite.
It's very shy. You two got any more then?
One more. It was a Tales from the Crypt film called Demon Night.
Oh, Demon Night.
That
yes.
sounds like a candy film.
Yes, I'm so glad somebody
Oh, fucking
remembers it.
Demon Night.
With Billy Zane as
Yeah.
the demon and William Sadler as the good guy, and
Oh,
I
it's-
think Jada Pinkett Smith.
It is.
And a whole load of like boobs and violence, and so
Yep.
12-year-old me loved the film and then loved the soundtrack because it's got Pantera, Ministry, Machine Head, Megadeth,
It's proper
Melvins,
thrash, isn't
Roland's
it?
Band, Biohazard, Sepultura, Filter, and Gravediggers.
Well, we all grew up about the same time, didn't we?
Grave digger.
I think we did. And poor Biggie's there like, I don't know these bands.
Grave diggers,
I did
hello.
have Judgment Night as well on my list.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. Cool. So that's us. I believe we've
Oh,
got some...
no, whoa.
Oh,
whoa.
A false alarm. Go on then. Finish us
Two
off.
very quick ones. I just wanted to mention Above the Rim, pretty forgettable basketball sort of drama.
I'm glad it's basketball and not something else.
Yes.
But there's some good names on there. You got SWV with Anything, the Dog Pounder on there, H-Town. But the biggest
Dog
track,
Pounder.
which you probably recognise, is Regulate by
Yes.
Nate Dogg and Warren G,
yeah.
which
Yeah.
I think was at number one for like a million years or something. It
I
literally got
feel like
played
it was
everywhere.
That was like a 10-week
I'm
number
it is.
going
one.
to be upset.
I think the song was more popular than the film. But the other movie I wanted to mention was Dead Presidents, which came out in 95. Because it was set in the 70s, the soundtrack is absolutely
So
banging.
good. So good.
And it's got If You Want Me to Stay by Sly and the Family Stone, Walk On By by Isaac Hayes, The Payback, James Brown, I'll Be Around, The Spinners, Never Never Gonna Give You Up, Barry White, I Miss You, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, Get Up, Get Down, The Dramatics,
Yes.
Don't Worry If There's a Hell Below, We're All Going to Go, Curtis Mayfield, Do Right Woman, Do Right Man, Aretha Franklin, Where Is the Love, Jesse and Trina, Tired of Being Alone, Al Green, Love Train, The OJs, and The Look of Love by Isaac Hayes. And it
Shit
was such
film,
a
though.
banger that after the film came out, they released a second volume of songs
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. God, I've seen that
Yeah,
film and
That soundtrack
I think we
is
watched it in
banging.
film studies at school. of all the fucking films to watch in film studies. Better than watching Robin Hood, isn't it, Gadget?
That wasn't film studies. That was music. That was music tech. I watched that. This is how you compose for a film. You take one little melody and repeat it endlessly, and then get Brian Adams
Prince
to
of
sing
Thieves,
the
isn't
song.
it? It was Prince of Thieves, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
That
Prince
one
of
you
Thieves.
watched. Fucking, that's a shite film.
I had to watch that
But
film 10
that's-
times. Hated it.
That's not very good. It's not very good. Cool. As I was saying, I'm sure we've got some feedback on this topic. This has got to be good.
We do. So we'll start off with our beshitting fellow Stig, who was written in from the toilet. He says, in 2017, a film starring Hugh Jackman, Rebecca Ferguson, Zac Efron, Zendaya, and Michelle Williams came out called The Greatest Showman. It was a musical celebrating the life of P.T. Barnum, a circus ringleader turned politician. The film itself isn't great and pretty much a fabrication of his life, with events taking place out of sequence and painting the man in a very positive light, whereas in reality, he was exploitative and by all accounts a complete bastard. The film shows him and his circus as being a safe haven for those that were different, a place where they can be special and seen as equals. The message in the film is amazing, but in reality, this just wasn't the case for these people, and it leaves a sour taste. So whilst the movie twists the chronology, invents entire characters, and somewhat inevitably leaves out the unflattering facts about Barnum, it's propped up by amazing song and dance sequences. These are the things that I and many others have taken away from the film. The day after I saw it, I was blasting the soundtrack in the house whilst cleaning, I was singing along to it in the car, and it even resulted in my wife Kate and I going to see Hugh Jackman on stage, where he and Kayla Settle, the bearded lady, performed songs from the film.
Did she have a beard? I need to ask him if she had a beard on stage.
The whole album is just back-to-back bangers that even 6 years later I still put on every now and again and bop out to. In fact, I've actually been doing that very thing this week. The Greatest Show, Come Alive, and This Is Me are the big highlights of the album for me, with the latter even becoming a huge Legitimatoire plus hit due to its message. I am going to start saying LGBTQ plus as Legitimatoire because people.
Yes,
I think that sounds funnier.
I've heard it a few times.
Oh well, because it's got the plus, it's also Legitimatoire Premium.
Oh,
yeah, my daughter loves that album.
I was about to say that soundtrack in my house because of my daughter. I'm sick of it. Whoa, 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 whoa! It fucking does my head in.
Yeah.
Oh no, I love it. From Now On's my favourite.
So he goes on to say, so whilst the film itself isn't that terrible, it's rather average. The songs that came from it are amazing, and I love listening to them. Mark Kermode was very wrong when he said there wasn't a memorable song amongst them.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's
going after Kermode like that.
Oh yeah. Kermode was very wrong about that film. He when he reviewed it, he basically said no one will be singing these songs in a week.
That's massive, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a massive
and,
album.
He has since eaten crow about that one. He has accepted he was wrong.
Yeah, as long as he knows.
He finished off saying other notable mentions, not noticeable stig. Come on, spell. Cradle to the Grave, a lackluster action film starring Jet Li and DMX, but it has a really great hip hop soundtrack. The likes of Eminem, Obi Trice, DMX, give it to you. CNN, MOP, Bizarre Royal, and Joe Budden. And this one's for Oodles. Queen of the Damned, a terrible Anne Rice adaptation, but the soundtrack full of new metal goodness.
We've said it. We love it.
Also,
I'm going to watch it tonight.
Also, hello to Mono and Ciara. Bring back Stargate.
Oh, hell yeah. Now we're talking.
Soundtrack the CD of that lives in my car.
I watched the Stargate film other day. Just for fun.
The original one.
Wasn't it
just for fun?
Yeah, it's still great.
Wasn't there a rumour that Roland Emmerich wanted to do another Stargate movie or something?
Oh, he did.
Yes, and then he threw a massive wobbly over being told no.
Oh, okay.
No, they were gonna let him do it, and then he made the second Independence Day film, and they were
Resurgence.
No,
fair enough.
And then they sold it to Amazon.
Maybe
for
that's
the listener.
Maybe that's
where
Amazon
have been kicking it around.
The second Independence Day, they have a base on the moon, and it's set 20 years later. So now we've got a base on the moon with a laser on it. And it's fucking terrible.
It wouldn't be set now.
Terrible.
It would have been set 7 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like 20 years beyond Independence Day. Yeah.
Do you know what would have made a really good film? There's like 2 minutes in the middle of that film where they go to like Africa somewhere, and there's some
with the tribes,
with the warlords, and it's like, oh, we've spent the last like 7 years here fighting all the aliens that are still inside that ship, and occasionally we go in and like
machete
raiding parties and get some like cool technology. I want to see that film.
Yes,
where they start kind of district
everything
mining
else.
it a bit.
Yeah.
Oh God, Roland Emmerich, he does not deserve celluloid, does he?
No.
Just not deserve.
Super Natty Cat has said 8 Mile. I went to the cinema to watch this. Underage.
It's not a good film.
And while the film is
like
okay,
the
soundtrack is insane. Lose Yourself is an amazing record, one of my gym favourites. Even the rap battle sessions are amazing. I used to know all the words to all of them.
Let's get her on. Let's get her on to do it. But I don't think 8 Mile's good at all. There's better like rap-based films and stuff like that. And it's supposed to be based on Marshall Mathers's life, but that is proper dramatised. Come on.
Yeah, it's not very close.
Of course
to
it is.
Yeah.
It's another ego wank film, isn't it? It's like anytime a musician makes a film about their rise.
I like it when his mate shoots his dick off.
Yeah. Was it in the foot or was it the dick?
I think it's his dick. I'm pretty sure it's his dick because he puts it in his pants. He puts it in his. He's got a holster and he blows his dick off or something.
Jason Whistle from It's Not That Bad cast, former guest on Deep Dive Lounge. Said, referring to the artwork that Stig put up on Twitter, noticed they had Tank Girl on there. That's a winner.
Yes. Definitely.
SFW was another one. What's SFW?
SFW?
Yeah.
SFW? I don't know.
No idea.
Off the top of my head.
Oh dear.
He says, never watched the film, had the soundtrack.
Is it on the art that we posted? I'll find out what SFW is. 1 second.
Yeah, well, while you do that.
You can edit this perfectly.
Stephen Dorff,
sure.
Reese Witherspoon, 1994.
No, never heard of it.
Jake Busey's in it as well. He of the mighty teeth. Joey. Oh, and your favorite, Joey Lauren Adams.
Oh yeah. I don't know.
Alienated and I can't say that word.
There is actually a film.
Yeah,
for this.
teenager gains
SFW.
sudden and unwanted celebrity status after he's taken hostage by terrorists, where his indifference to their threats to kill him makes news headlines.
There you go.
All right. He then goes on to say, Singles was definitely about the soundtrack and not the movie. Escape from LA has an amazing soundtrack.
Oh, it does.
I'm amazed you're allowing him to come for Escape from LA there, Roodles.
No, because Escape from New York's the masterpiece.
Yeah, but
LA's a fucking...
Yeah, but Escape from LA has Snake Plissken surfing.
And Bruce Campbell.
It's a masterpiece.
Is it?
Adventures of Ford Fairlane has a diverse track listing, apparently.
Yep.
And he's plugging himself here. You could have a listen to my weekly mixtape episode on good songs and bad movies for a few ideas.
It's good. Yeah, he's got loads, absolutely loads. Listen to him. He's a good guy. I love him. He's my friend.
Cult Connections has said anything by John Hughes and the first couple of Harry Potters.
Yep.
Candy's looking offended there. Well, I mean, the Harry Potter ones is orchestral soundtracks. It's Danny Elfman, isn't it?
Is it
Danny Elfman?
It's John Williams.
John Williams, yeah. Hedwig's theme.
John Williams.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Robotic Monkey said, not that it's a terrible film, but the Daft Punk score and soundtrack to the Tron Legacy is absolutely stunning.
It is a
felt
terrible
like It was
film.
a trial run for the
It
following
is.
album, Random Access Memories. We discussed this on the Discord. It is a terrible film, Robotic Monkey. Sort your shit out.
Watch the original.
Yeah. And last up, we have Nimrod Hicks. And he says, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Although I like the movie, the album is a stone cold
film.
banger. Police and Thieves by Junior Marvin, Walk This Land by the Easy Rollers, The Payback by James Brown. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful album.
I don't think it counts because I don't think Lock, Stock's terrible.
No, it's a good
Lock,
film.
Stock's a good film.
Yeah.
I have a late entry.
Oh,
Go.
I have a late entry. Blues Brothers 2000.
Oh, sorry.
That film's come up so many times on this podcast. It has got a good soundtrack though.
You've just said that
It
so
does,
you'll
but-
catch Deadbeat Punk off guard. He wouldn't have been expecting a Blues Brothers 2000 mention. He'd have been vomiting in his car.
I've got a late entry as well. T2, not Terminator 2, Trainspotting 2. Great soundtrack, terrible film. If anyone's seen it.
I haven't seen Trainspotting 2.
No,
Not many
I've
people
seen
have
it.
seen Trainspotting 2. It's
I
not
have
good.
seen it.
I mean, the
It's a
first one's
weird movie.
sensational.
It's one of those films that didn't need a sequel.
The book had a sequel, so that's probably why.
Yeah, fair.
There was a prequel to the book as well.
Yes, there was. Yes, that is the that's it. That's the topic, isn't it? We've
Yeah,
done
it is.
it. We've mastered it. So, as always, links to all our extracurricular activities are in our show notes and at modernescapism.co.uk. Next week, it's another Nexus episode, so feel free to let us all know what you've done during the last 2 weeks. And now it's time for Mono and Ciara to just plug their wares. Plug.
Pluggy plug. Like I said earlier, we are MonoRants. You can find us on most platforms.
That work, if they work.
You're
Well,
definitely
it's
on
more whether or not I've got.
You're
them
definitely on
working.
Spotify. 'Cause I was listening all day
Yes.
today, especially to the boys
Yeah, we
one.
are
Love the boys.
Oh, such a good show. Such a fucking good show. So that's what one of our shows is about the boys, and the other one is just about random movies that we find good, a few of which we've mentioned here tonight.
Yes.
And other ones I've made you watch because I'm horrible.
Yeah, we did it. We did a whole month. We did a whole month of Don Bluth animations there a while ago. That was great fun, actually.
Is Ferngully? Is that one of them? Ferngully?
No,
Looks like
we
one,
did.
doesn't it?
Land
Land
Before
Before Time,
No, I didn't do
isn't it?
Land Before Time because I couldn't cope with Littlefoot's death
Yeah.
again.
Oh, don't.
The first American Tale, but not the second.
Yeah, Fievel Goes West.
Uh,
Yeah, let's not.
Yeah, and Anastasia. And
Oh,
All Dogs Go to
Anastasia's
Heaven.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, Dog
No,
Skirts
I'd never seen it on
everywhere.
stage yet, and I was actually very impressed
Yeah,
with
Rasputin in that is fantastic. Oh, so good.
that. Yeah.
But
Yes.
yes,
Body horror going on.
listen to MonoRants in all their guises, please. But it's not the end of the show because we have one final tiny little segment. It's time to grace the beautiful place that is Candyland.
And now, what's up in Candyland?
I've discovered something this week that is going to absolutely revolutionise marine rescue missions in the future.
Oh, I can't wait for
Right.
this.
Raisins. Right, I discovered when you put raisins, so you get a cup of water. If you put a raisin in water, it'll
Right.
sink. But then the bubbles will form around it, and then it rises to the top. The bubbles then pop, and it goes to the bottom of it again. And then the bubbles, it's like a never-ending rising and falling of raisins.
Candy, what drugs are you on this week?
I'm not sure. Whatever they gave my cat.
Oh, God.
So can we not harness this power? Like
Of raisins.
the power of raisins. Like we could stick thousands of raisins together in various sizes, like from 6 inches to like meter square cubes, right?
I don't think you get big raisins like that.
No, not big raisins, loads of little ones.
Do you know what raisins are, mate?
Little grapes.
Yeah. Little
So-
grapes.
Well, I mean, that's irrelevant.
You're wasting good wine on this raisin rescue.
Shit, man.
Come on, think about it.
No. I can fix this. Use the raisins to lure ants. And ants are actually really good for making those like little buoyant platforms out
yeah.
of themselves.
Fuck. There's
Yeah.
another
Water
chapter to this
repellent.
discovery. So
So we can use the ants.
oh,
We can use the raisins to lure the ants. Then we get the ants and we make a raft and then profit.
Guess what as well? There's another layer. You can ferment alcohol using ants.
you can. So
Yes,
right.
you can.
So well, my original idea: various sizes of raisin cubes. Send them down to the Titanic. A couple of
Yep.
magnets either side, and just bring the artifacts up. Like, and it will just keep going. They keep going up and down and up and down. You
And drink
grab
the
the
winnings.
artifact, maybe put them on the ant raft. But then we can monetize it. We could make it into a movie. We could call it The Raisin of the Titanic.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, this is very
Oh,
good.
wow.
If it doesn't get swept away with the current.
Oh!
Candyland!
Oh,
That's Candyland. Thank you very much for listening. Don't forget, if you're a patron, you're going to get half an hour exclusive after this. But it's time to thank Mono and Ciara of MonoRants for joining us. Did you enjoy yourselves? Did you have a good time?
I had a blast. Thanks for having us on.
Excellent.
Thank you for
So,
coming.
if you're not a patron, this is the end of the show, Ciara. So, thank you very much and goodbye. You can stop your fucking recordings. Oh.